Good afternoon or good morning. It's 1 o'clock in the morning on December 23rd, 2020. Good morning. This is Dr. Gaze 101, also known as Doctor of Ghetto here on the internet. Simulcast together on YouTube and BitChute together. Um, Obviously, it's more like a Doctor of Ghetto video, as always. It comes pertaining to politics, per se. My name, Doctor of Ghetto, is pertaining towards Jews during World War II that were massacred by about 6 million of them. So, to those that are wondering why I keep mentioning Doctor of Ghetto, that's like, my political name of sorts on the internet, or my political username. Anyway, everyone wondering to yourself, why am I overreacting for my last video, saying that I was, um, not really showing much appreciation for the stimulus check or whatever, and hearing all these interesting series of events of news over the last few days since earlier this week. I had a bad couple of days because of that matter, because of what I hear on the news, and it's it's daunting, really, because I did my best to be calm in my last video. I tried not to be overreactive, screaming, hollering, whatever you want to think of. And I just don't like the fact that what this country not only the country as a whole here in the United States, but also the government for the past several decades. And I understand, I don't know all the details. I'm 33. I don't know what happened back 40, 50 years ago in real time, in real actual events or actual occurrences and explanations of sorts. No matter how many books I read from the past, no matter how much information I try to grasp and to take it in and just absorb it and process it and put it out there to whoever may concern out there that's new to the situation, or just wants to know a perspective from a young lad like myself. So, in a sense, I'm in a better mood now, and this stimulus check, I have to say, is okay for the time being. Like I said, for the last several months, we had the first stimulus check, from back in March or April, of $1,200 per person, and an additional $500 per dependent of that household. So it's kind of like a temporary thing, but the prices increase over time. Your food at the Checkers restaurant, that increase. Home Depot supplies increase. Stock market increase. All this inflation. Steve Mnuchin, who was the Treasury Secretary, said this is a good thing, and paraphrased what he was trying to say for the past few days now. And I'm thinking to myself, where is he coming from? Is he an economist? I could have sworn Steve Mnuchin is the economist of behind the Treasury Secretary, and Janet Yellen now is going to be the Treasury Secretary for next month for Joe Biden's presidency. So it's like, I can't imagine what's this going to be like after Trump leaves office, because within 4 years after Trump leaves office, right after when Trump leaves office, Joe Biden will take over for 4 years, maybe 8 years, and he might fuck up the economy even further by passing all these stimulus checks even more so, as much as Trump, if not more so. And I'm thinking to myself, where did this end? When does Americans rise up to the occasion and take back what's theirs? Or not take back what's theirs as far as take back the country per se, but our economic freedom. And I don't know all the answers, to be honest with you. I shouldn't have really put out there all that mantra about we should fight the war and all that stuff, because not everyone's into that stuff, and I'm not physically able to actually fight an actual war. Sure, if someone from the government or if someone from some inside source tell me that, Charles, you got 6 months to get yourself together, otherwise you're not going to be prepared for a civil war in this country. If I had 6 months, that's not enough time, but I'll do my best to be in more shape than I ever was or never will be. If it was a year, perfect. If it was a year and a half, much better. But I can't predict this future per se. But I would like to say this though, that my 2035 prediction that China and the United States will go to war, in a World War setting, or in a regional war, like like a tit for tat type of thing. Like, oh, you bomb our city, we'll bomb your city. Oh, you bomb our defensive grid, we'll bomb our defensive grid, and such back and forth, whatever. So it's like that with Syria, with the bombing in the airfield and stuff like that. That kind of bombing, not nuclear bombs, but conventional warfare and stuff like that. Obviously, China has 2 million standing army, while the United States, we have like what, 1%, 2% of the population as military personnel. So it gets out as far as military uh, infantry might, but the military overall, we have might that's like beyond belief. So China, we're trying to fight us in our world wars, we're gonna win, pretty much. But beforehand, we have to deal with a civil war, perhaps, because I believe we're going to have a civil war no later than 2025, no later than 2030, give or take. Because Joe Biden's going to come in office, right? He's going to do so much different than Donald Trump was, and opposite. People said I look up to Joe Biden, and they're either low income like me, or black, or colored, or whatever. So it's like, you're saying that you're for Joe Biden, but Joe Biden's been not for blacks, not for colored people, not for any non-whites, and for decades. Because he was with those people who denied opportunities or open equal opportunities to those of that of different race or different creed or different income levels, things that matter. So I'm not Mr. Know-it-all, like I said, but at least I have an idea that if I ever be in office and if I have like fucking like 100 people who will run for office at different offices throughout New York State and New York City, just the start of just New York alone with Cuomo, like oust him from office. Don't make him give a third term, or make him go third party to do a third term like Bloomberg did back during the 2008-2009 elections or 2009-2010 elections, give or take, around that time. So it's like, as just as an example, because I live in New York City, people, so that's why as a starting point. But that's for me to those in my neighborhood to understand where I come from. Now, I haven't been out there, out and about, on the ground, literally like in like every single city or every single neighborhood I could think of in New York City to go to talk to people, or just to interact with them in general, because I don't have no business there with them. They have their own little thing going on, we have our own little thing going on. So that's why I don't interact with people in, like, let's say, Corona, Queens, or Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Williamsburg, Brooklyn, I probably go over there I'll go over there for like the food and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if they still have their restaurants open yet from all that COVID-19 bullshit that Cuomo keep pushing down on us here in New York City. So Cuomo has to be aware that he can't just do this all the time, every time with people. People will rise up sooner or later. Now, I don't know when. When will that happen? When will this rise to the occasion happen? When will all of us just, had enough and just fuck it? We go to war. Fuck it. If we have to fight a conflict at some governor's mansion, or at some city hall, or at some Oregon's Capitol Hill that I heard got stormed or whatever. I mean, excuse me if I'm scratching the whole place. I'm just worried still about the fact that we as a citizens supposed to be of some sort of have high standards for our office people, high standards for the governors, the assemblymen, the politicians like that in federal offices like that, of the representatives or the senators or the president of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have supposed to have all this stuff going on to show standards in our government and in our structure of as citizens of this country and this country as a whole. I think that it's hard to say exactly where Trump is trying to do for his last few days in office with this stimulus. Like, he wants to make it $2,000 per person, and it's like, it helps greatly. I can start my invention with a company that's helping me out with the matter with that kind of money. Pass it through and see what happens, take the risk, right? But it's this short term. It's not the long term. It's not. It's nothing of that sort, really. To just take that money to the people and just give it to them. And most of the mom and pop stores are closed. Most of the small businesses are not in session because of this COVID-19 fiasco by Governor Cuomo and other parts of the United States, like that of like Florida or California especially. That type of stuff. So it's like, what to do? How can we overcome this matter without violence, right? Impossible. It's just too damn impossible to overcome the corruption with the government or through political process system or through peacefulness and things like that matter. Sounds like I'm starting something, or I'm trying to arouse the public, or whatever the case may be. But I'm no different than the average person out there on the street. The only difference is what? Because I read books, or I used to read a lot of books, and I'm just listening to others more than ever than I possibly can via the podcasts or any other things going on the internet. Because this internet is very big, and we have all these ideas, we have all these solutions and resolutions. Some of them are younger than me, some of them are older than me, some of them are around my age. And we come together somehow, some way, or we have a similar opinion to each other, whether we're white, black, rich or poor, or you're wealthy and poor, wealthy or poor, like that type of matter. Like, you're not the super rich, like trillionaire, billionaire, multi-millionaire, but you're like making what, 100 grand, 500,000 a year or something like that. But it affects your businesses, because it affects being employed by your business. Now I understand you can't control everything, you can't control the government, but sooner or later it's been 10 years since Obama became president of the United States, the first black president. He was supposed to be the end-all be-all for the New World Order agenda. And you know what prevented all that bullshit we heard about Obama ushering the New World Order? Was the exposure of the New World Order through through guerrilla-style exposure, guerrilla-style type of like antics, where we just expose everything, even if it costs your livelihood and your life, just by putting stuff on the internet. It's ridiculous. You're telling me that on YouTube, BitChute, MySpace, whatever you're thinking of, all this shit I put up on the internet is like I'm the next Malcolm X, or you're the next Malcolm X, or you're the next Rosa Parks? I mean, for fuck's sake, this is so simple. I mean, you can move mountains with this shit on this, keyboard, like. And that's what I love about this internet. We see for who we are, or what you want to put out there to see for who you are, and the things that matter, and then so on and so forth. And sure, I'm overweight. I'm considered to be a poor class in a socioeconomic system. Why should I listen to you, Charles? You don't go to the gym often. You don't work out. You don't fucking eat properly and stuff like that. Oh, how do you know what I've been doing for how many months and years? Just because I lost how much weight at certain times of my life, and I lose the weight, or I gain the weight, you're still gonna look at me as a big person, or an overweight, huge ass, fat ass. I guarantee you, if I lose half my weight right now, I lost a quarter of my weight one time. If I lose half my weight, you would still call me a fat ass. You would still call me lazy. You would still call me that, oh, this guy is useless to society because he's a victim, because we white people like to call black people victims for some damn strange reason every single time. Sounds racial, sounds racist. What to say? What to do about that matter? Just gotta keep on chugging along. Keep on doing what you can do. I mean, I can only do but so much, guys. And I'm not trying to say that you have to literally pick up a gun, start shooting the enemy, because there's so many of heads on the beast that they're gonna keep coming and coming no matter what. If it's all out there in the open, out there disorganized. I mean, I understand that. I understand there are groups out there who organize, who form protests and marches, but it's just not enough. It really isn't. Sometimes we got to go drastic because what? Because the government's screwing over with our economy, screwing over businesses, small or big. Well, especially the small businesses here in my neighborhood. Last time I've been in my drugstore was my local drugstore was like 2, maybe 3 months ago, for myself, that is, not for my relative. So it's kind of like, because most of the stuff is on the internet, the transactions, the transference, the debit, the credit, the stimulus checks and stuff like that we had all go towards Amazon, all go towards our savings or bills, credit card bills, debit card bills, whatever you want to call them, for their overdraft fees and things that matter. So it's like, it's a mixture of everything online. It's being seen online. It's always available to see online by the government, to see our transactions. I mean, do we have to go undercover or underground or whatever the case might be? I mean, this is ridiculous because we can sacrifice, yes, but who's going to really sacrifice for how long? That's the problem. I mean, I lost my good paying job from 10 years ago after the crisis. I was able to get the job after their layoffs. They laid me off months later, especially the day after I put out that flyer or whatever. It told me that, it's lack of sales or lack of volumetric revenue in the company, so I'm the first to go. That's what they told me. But then I was told by my mom's friend who got me the job that I just posted a flyer and I should have not done that. I'm like, I mean, it's stupid. Because, I mean, if I really did bad, I would have been told that I did bad. I mean, I was 22 years old. Like, how can you not tell a 22-year-old who's bombastic, who's arrogant like I was, who wanted to change the world in a good way, in many good ways, and you don't tell him or train him, not train me, but tell me or tell the youth out there not how to exactly, but, just be consistent, but not out there in the open. And that's what I was doing. Because what else to do? How to get the message out there? How do we get the people out there to be motivated to do something about the matter? And little by little, individually, as a group. Like I said, don't have no answers. It sounds like a call for violence. I mean, violence. I've done my share of violence, but it's very reactionary. Look at my demeanor. You honestly think I'm some gangster, John Cena, you can't see me, yo. I'm not that type of guy. But if you ever cross the line with me, that's when I have a problem. I mean, I'm not no fighter, per se, physically. I did karate when I was younger. I did rifle and shooting. I was on a rifle team for about a few months, back when I was 14 years old. So I have an idea how to handle and use a gun and to shoot the gun. I think I used a 21 caliber, a 22 long rifle. Also was 21 caliber. Mr. P is his name. Not PP, Mr. P. Mr. P as in the letter P from the alphabet. I forgot his full name though. But some people vouch for me from my high school that I was on the rifle team. If any one of you guys are from my high school who heard about me being on the rifle team, you can now vouch for me in the comments section down below, or on Facebook, or whatever the case may be. So, it's iffy. Well, what I'm saying is very iffy, and because starting violence leads to more violence, and so on and so forth. The build-up hate leads to more hate, right? I don't have that same feeling as I used to, the constant rage and anger back 10 years ago. At times, I can be a little bit out there with people that don't know who I am. They would say to me like, "Oh, I want to report you to the Department of Homeland Security." Like, yeah, I got that twice. One coworker told me that he's going to report me to the Department of Homeland Security. I was like, okay. So they already know who we are. To those who are radical, or to those that speak up and speak the truth, or speak out in what's the issues were, and they know who we are, where we live, who we associate with. Do we go after these guys just for the hell of it? Not the hell of it, like for the fact that this is the problem right now and we gotta fix it. That type of moment that we have to come across. It's like I said, no, nothing's perfect. No revolution is perfect. No war is perfect. Usually, war it'll be like two losers or lesser of two. One of them's lesser of the loser. You're not told winner if you won the war per se, but you still get damage from it. So it's like, what now? Like Malcolm X said, from Malcolm X to Louis Farrakhan to the Black Panthers from 1960s and 70s, the original Black Panthers, not that new Black Panther party. I don't know what's with the new Black Panthers, but the ones from who are political prisoners, who are still to this day in prison as we speak, or used to be after when they died or whatever until their death. Hell, there's even a singer who was part of the Black Panthers. She's still alive. And also Mr. Peterson, or Wasserman, or something like that. He was a co-leader with Huey P. Newton of the Black Panthers. So it's like, I'm surprised he's still alive, still talking to this day about what's going on in this country. I don't know what he's talking about, but he's out there, or used to be out there, but now he's just privately, maybe talking to others, whatever. But like Malcolm X said, you gotta keep it down low. You have to speak privately at times. But Hitler, he didn't speak out privately. Talk privately. He talk out loudly to his people. And I think that's what we need. We need in this country, if in the next 4 years, at least 4 years within this country, I should say 5 years, of a major, massive mass loss of sanity, depression, desperation, and upworthiness to rise to the occasion to fight this government, or to fight this enemy, or to fight the New World Order, or to fight the Queen of England and the Rothschilds and stuff like that. You already know the enemy. You already know who the enemies are, or at least the heads of the beasts, or the beasts. Excuse me. So, I'm just your average guy, just giving information out. I do my best to do something here and there. I sacrifice my job, like I said. Bad idea, but it is what it is, right? And it was just a flyer. It wasn't like I just went in there and just started shooting or whatever people think I'm capable of. It's a piece of paper, like a napkin that you email. You can't email. This is like 10 years ago. You couldn't email a church-related event regarding about the change of this country, or wanted change in this country and stuff like that. It's pathetic. Now you can't do shit in the workplace, I heard. Well, not literally shit, but now you can't do anything in the workplace. You cannot share a news article or whatever the situation was. You cannot talk to a woman in gratifying way, like oh, you look beautiful, Miss whatever your name is at the workplace. Then they'd be like, oh my God, you sexually harassing me. You sexually harassed me, Charles. And I'm like, what? I just said, hi, you're beautiful. And you're from Greek? Oh, nice. That's a beautiful country. And you got a nice, beautiful voice or a nice accent. Because to those who are well aware on my YouTube channel, of the old channel, which I'm currently talking to you guys on right now, back in February 2016, I was accused of sexual harassment because I said to a girl that you're beautiful and you're from a beautiful country. Small stuff like this can backfire a revolution or backfire or a cause or a conflict, whatever, to start or happen. And all well and good, the lesser violence, the better, right? But in the end, what, we're desperate sometimes, some of us. We go crazy sometimes, some of us. To those who are well aware about, money issues, who was going through that or used to go through it, you know the deal. Some of us will thrive, some of us will become rich, some of us will overcome dastardly deeds by the government, that from the IRS taxes and, in violation of the Digital Millennium Copyrights Act, the DMCA's, the copyright shit, all that stuff on YouTube and stuff. Or just over the internet in general speaking. They found out you have too much content, you download it or upload it to the internet or whatever the case may be. And that's another thing too. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, they all censor and they all try to suppress our thoughts, suppress our views and content. I guarantee you, this video on YouTube mainly will only get no more than 10 views within a month. Not even. Like 2 months, maybe. That's it. And maybe in a lifetime, maybe 50 views. That's about it. If I'm lucky. They suppress my subscribers. They suppress the viewers who watch my content, who cannot find my content anymore, even if the instructions were given in the video or the channel itself on the About page. They cannot find it. Or if they do type in my name, Dr. Gaze 101, they will see some videos of mine that I uploaded many years ago, some videos I uploaded about a few months ago, and even a few days ago. So, YouTube can only do but so much censoring, along with the other websites, Twitter and Facebook and stuff. They can only do but so much censoring because it will go out in the public no matter what. Hence the Streisand effect. The more you suppress something, the more you subdue and erase or censor, whatever, it will be like cockroaches out of nowhere, just like will flee amok and go someplace else. You can't do that YouTube and MySpace and BitChute. How BitChute won't turn out to be like YouTube? How BitChute will let people like me or guys like you out there who are well aware of my cause, or well aware of my situation, or well aware of what I wanted to do. And if I want to clarify, I guess you could say, as of 2010, I want to change in this country away from all the old people who don't know nothing about the current state of this world, about the technology we have, the smartphones we have. They don't know nothing, or most of them, or at least a good half of them, in office. Doesn't matter what level of government, local, state, federal. Most of them who are old, over 65, don't know a damn thing about this country, what's going on for the last few years. With all this technology, Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, all that streaming services, this has to, politicians of today have to understand this. And if not, then they'll be overthrown. They will be ousted. They'll be exiled. They'll be whatever the case may be in the few years. Let's hope it's not going to be like the war of like the Advanced Warfare video game that I played the other day. As you can tell from the music, I've just played Call of Duty. I'm about to go back to play some more again, because I have stuff in my mind I want to explain about and what I accumulated from my research, and that's what's from watching the video, other people and stuff like that. So it's interesting. It's a good experience, and it's alleviating too to explain about these matters at hand. And I hope that one day out there, to whoever may consider watching this video, whether it's on BitChute or YouTube, to do something about the problem at hand accordingly. And if not, if you gotta go that deep end, I understand the feeling, but let it be known, you will get hurt in the revolution. You will be ousted or be ostracized. You will be ridiculed and mocked. I've been like this since I was a kid, but this revolutionary feeling, or the Malcolm X, or about Dr. King and stuff like that. Specifically with Malcolm X, I like more Malcolm X's approach than Dr. King's approach during the time that I learned about these things, about Malcolm X, or about Dr. King, or about W.E.B. Du Bois, or Booker T. Washington. Did you know that Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois hate each other? I believe W.E.B. Du Bois wanted to be with the whites and work with the whites, while Booker T. Washington wanted to be on his own, like Malcolm X was about Dr. King. So it's like, it's like like round and round we go. The cycle continues, and sooner or later, war will break out. Whether it's civil, whether it's regional, whether it's world war. And it sounds pessimistic, right? I mean, my fortune cookie told me, pessimism, optimism outbeats pessimism. And no matter how much pessimism I put out there to the world through these videos or through whatever I do, there will always be something good coming out of the situation, no matter what. And I hope Donald Trump will accept the $600, hang it up. Don't make it $2,000, please. Please, Trump, don't make it $2,000 per person. You want to increase the fucking rents, increase the food at the restaurants, whether it's Checkers, Burger King, McDonald's, all this cheap food, or even at the regular restaurants that are higher up food, it's gonna go up in price. Your McDonald's chicken nuggets, instead of it being 99 cents for 4 or 5, 6 pieces, will be now what, 2 pieces, maybe 3. And then if you want to get this 40 McNugget special, with actually, you can tell I'm a fat ass at one point, because I used to eat McDonald's a lot. So, but you get the point. So, all right, guys, please thumbs up, subscribe and share, donate to my Patreon, Dr. Gates 101. If you cannot donate, share my videos. That's all. If you can do this, all you can do. It's all you can do. And whatever I've been saying for the last couple of days or a few days with these videos, you understand what I go through, right? You understand what I've been through. You understand what I'm trying to pursue or do. Even if it's little by little I do. Or you could do the same as well, vice versa. Have a nice day, guys. Merry Christmas. Hopefully I'll make a video sometime next week, and bye. Merry Christmas.